Whenever I go online, there is this common thing I see now. It's quite exhausting. It's always something about immigration, this or immigration that, or ICE deporting people. In the UK, is immigration a problem? The folks in Germany protesting about immigration. Basically, European countries are protesting about immigration. I think it's either the education system in the West is poor, or people are just choosing to be intentionally ignorant because you can't create a problem and then complain about the consequences of the actions of the problem you created. The only reason why people are immigrants, especially for third world countries and African immigrants, is because long ago European countries decided to themselves that they needed to conquer Africa and enslave the people and take their resources. Hence why they came to Africa, colonized us, divided our continent, and then moved quite a substantial amount of us, or yeah, us, because I'm also black. Although my ancestors weren't part, but I feel like someone needs to educate the human world. So they moved a couple of my ancestors to different countries: UK, US, France, etc. And then this, should I say migrants? Yeah, migrants, but more like slaves. After a while, got the amendments reformed, became free. Then after they became free, they became settlers in those countries, and well, they couldn't fight their way back to the initial countries they came from. And then the consequences of this colonialism and invading other people's nations led to stagnancy and decline in these people's countries. Because why? Before colonizing these people have, or they had, their ways of life, and they were doing their own things, living their lives. They were not migrating to anyone's nation to seek for greener pastures. Hell, they didn't even know these nations existed. But then the Europeans came and decided to conquer the planet, and I have nothing against that because it's biology, survival of the fittest. Although I'm against massacring people and mass genocide, because if history serves us right, they killed over 50 million people, and I think that was just the British Empire. And I'm not just narrowing it out to the British Empire, because although the British Empire came to colonize a lot of us black folks, a lot of us black folks in West Africa and other continents like Asia, India's in Asia, etc. Countries like Germany, Belgium, France, Spain also colonized countries in Africa and the rest of the world, down to some of these Asian countries that are not just for Africans. But I know quite more about Africans because I'm African. So, they came, colonized, divided the continent, slashed it up, changed the way of life of these people, told them that their initial language is barbaric. The only reason why I'm speaking English right now is because Tibaso Yoruba. If I speak Yoruba, my native tongue, the world would see it as a strange language that is barbaric and it is not worldly accepted, thanks to the white man. So the white man did all this in his powers and his graces and strength, and well, destroyed our way of lives. And we're all suffering from the effect of colonialism. Literally, that is what we are all suffering from, and that is why our nation is spoilt. And even colonialism is also caused with Christianity, because you might think, oh, Christianity is really saving the world, but back in the Oyo Kingdom, yeah, the Oyo Kingdom flourished because if I was the king, before swearing in as a king, I would take oath, Mabule. When I take oath, I will tell the entire kingdom that when I come into power, these are the things I will do. I will rule with justice. I will do this, do this, do this. I will not steal my people's money. I will do this, do this, do that. And that if I break it, may the gods strike me down with thunder. And if you break it in your kingdom, from the days of Shogo Lukoso to Oromiyo to all these great leaders, even to the Odi of Ife and the Alaafin of Oyo, if you should break the oath to Batibule and you break it, you will die. So then, according to history and according to the artifacts and different things they stole from us, we flourished. Also, there wasn't Nigeria. These different kingdoms, and this is for Nigeria itself because I'm Nigerian, so I know more, or I know a bit more about my history than other the history of other countries or other continents. So we were flourishing because we had our way of life, we had our gods, we had our demons, and even we never believed in the devil. Although there was issue, but issue was like a trickster, it wasn't the devil. And we just had our way of life. There were consequences for actions, and with us, it is instant. Our own gods do not waste time. That's why the other day I was with a girl, and she said she's a Christian, but she was swearing. She said, I swear on Ogu. Ogu. That's the god of iron. So I told her, why are you swearing on Ogu? I mean, I'm not saying she swear on Jesus, but why are you swearing on Ogu if you're a Christian? She was like, Ogu is very fast. If you are swearing on Jesus, and I was not asking her to swear on Jesus. But she said, if she swears on Jesus, then that will take time. Nothing might even happen. But if you swear on Ogu, in 1 minute, we will judge you. So leaders could not be corrupt. Like, they could not be corruption, because if you are corrupt, you will die. And nobody even needs to try to hunt you down. You will take the oath. The priests of the kingdom, when they are putting you in power, you take your oaths. You must be good to your people. You must provide for your people. So we were flourishing. But then the Western man came and he brought his God, and then with his God brought salvation, in quote. And I'm a Christian. I'm literally a church making this video. So with the Christianity and with the white man's God, there was so much salvation that you can steal now, and they will tell you, oh God, just ask Jesus for forgiveness and that is it. His grace abides for you. And then there might be consequences, but most times there wouldn't, because Jesus loves you. Hence why even with Islam too, Islam has the same factor. And this was not our initial religion. It was brought by the Ottoman Empire. And guess what? Yeah. The Christian and Islam religion were created by two rivals that were trying to dominate the world then. So during the Anglo-Saxon era, where there was the rise of Christianity, there was also the Ottoman Empire that was also becoming the rise of Islam. And because they were fighting for world domination and land, the Ottoman Empire and Islam, the British, Euro people had Christianity. They were using these religions to conquer nations, especially us Africans. So the only reason why a leader in Nigeria who is a Christian or a Muslim is not dead right now for stealing money is because we abandoned what our forefathers were doing. And if we were still doing what our forefathers were doing, our nation would be very great, because they don't want Tinubu well to use so much budget to be traveling abroad, and Tinubu's traveling budget is more than the entire nation's health budget. Now, if it was back in the Oyo Empire, Tinubu would have died since Shogun would have struck him, and now it's turned down, because he doesn't need to do too. We don't even need to do too much. We had our system, but the white man brought his own system, and then there was colonialism, and then my pastor is coming, so I have to wrap it up. So there was colonialism, and then after they left, there was still this neo colonialism and effect of further colonialism. And now we have immigrants in different countries, and oh, Elibabo, sir. We have immigrants in other countries, and the only reason why there are immigrants in other countries is because the white man came to our own country, destroyed our own country, and then we can't survive without going to the white man's land. So telling people that, oh, they should go back to their country after it is a consequence of the action of your old forefathers and ancestors, it's quite absurd. And let's not forget the history of America itself. America is a stolen land that the British Empire stole from the original inhabitants. I'll talk to you guys later.